Hello, welcome to this tutorial where we're going to make a very simple box using polygonal modeling tools. So first we're going to take out a cube and we're going to size it the approximate size that our box is going to be. We're going to use inches here, even though Cinema's default measurement is centimeters, by typing in the number in inches and then Cinema will do the math for us. So let's type in X 8.5 IN for inches. Press enter and you'll see that that turns into 21.59 centimeters. In Y, type in 3IN. And in Z, we're going to type in 6 inches. And now press O on your keyboard to zoom in and it's going to snap to the object you have selected and we can see the approximate size of our box. Now I want our box to be flush with the work plane, so I'm going to open the coordinate manager down here and taking my size in Y, which is the size going up and down, I'm going to copy this, Control or Command C, and I am going to paste it here in the position Y, Control or Command V, and type in divided by 2 and press enter. And what that did is that it took my size of Y and moved it up by half of the 7.62 and you can see that's 3.81. Okay, now let's make this box editable by pressing the make editable button or pressing C on your keyboard, and we're going to change to polygon mode. Here, with your brush selection, select the top polygon of this box, and we're going to use the inset, which you can find by right-clicking and going here, or you can go on the left side to select inset or press the shortcut I. And for the inset, we're going to do a small inset, click anywhere outside of the actual cube, and drag to the left until you're close to 0.5. If you did not get to 0.5 centimeters exactly, you can always type in 0.5 centimeters to round it out. Then we're going to change to the extrude tool, so press D on your keyboard or select it here on the left side or right click and find it in the menu. And we're going to extrude down just a little bit, so click again outside of the cube and drag towards the left until we get a very small extrude. We're going for -0.2 here, and you can see that for me it didn't exactly get there, so I will type in -0.2, press enter. Make sure that the change that you're making in the attributes is for the actual change that you have active and that you're not making multiple extrudes. For example, that your extrude isn't looking like this, right? If you see these lines, that means you're making multiple extrudes. So make sure you only have one extrude. Next, we're going to do another inset, so press I on your keyboard, and I already have my offset here set because of the previous inset that we created, so I'm just going to click on apply. And lastly, we're going to extrude this downwards, so press D on the keyboard or find extrude, and click and drag towards the left until you separate that polygon. And we're going to go all the way down. Make sure you do not cross that lit up polygon with the bottom polygon. If you need to change views, I just let go of my mouse and I will go to my 4-panel views. And in my front view, pressing O, I'll get close and you'll see where my highlighted polygon is versus where the bottom of my cube is. If you need to change that, you can change that here since we already disconnected that polygon by extruding it downwards. A quick note that if your polygon looks like this, right, you see that this polygon is being pushed down, that means that you are moving the polygon, you're not extruding it. So notice how it is still connected to this entire loop. So make sure you're actually extruding it where it would be disconnected as opposed to moving it. To avoid this, just make sure you're not using the axis. The axis will always just move it. To extrude, click and drag outside. Perfect. Now we're going to select all of the edges that if you were to print this would cut you. So all of the outer edges because we're going to bevel it. So change to edge mode. And with your loop selection, start selecting loops that make sense. So this loop here, this one and this one, all of them would cut you. Then the one in the bottom, And now I have to change to my brush selection because if I select this loop, notice what else gets selected, right? And we don't want these flat ones to be selected. So we're going to go with brush selection and holding shift, I am adding to my selection. And this is the selection that I want. Perfect. So now right click and find bevel, or go here and find it, or use the shortcut MS. And we're going to make a small bevel by clicking and dragging towards the right until we get to a 0.1 centimeter bevel. And of course, we need to add subdivisions because right now the bevel just separated those edges, but did not round them. But by adding subdivisions, it starts to round them. So adding 3 subdivisions, we now have nice rounded edges that should look like this. Perfect. So that's the bottom of the box. Now we're going to make the top of the box. So let's take out another cube, zoom out, and we're going to make it approximately the same size in X and in Z, but obviously a different size in Y. So in X, again, we want 8.5 inches. In Z, we want 6 inches. And then in Y, we only want 1 inch. We're going to move this upwards with either the move tool or using the axis while in the brush selection so that we can get underneath it easily because we're going to make the changes underneath it. Then make this editable. And while we have this here, we have cube and cube point 1. Let's name them. So that's going to be the box and this is going to be the lid. Now let's do something similar to what we did to the box, but to the lid, by going to polygon mode and selecting the bottom polygon. Now you want to press I for inset. And we already have this perfect inset number that we use for the one down here. So we're going to press apply. If not, you can type it in or just do the inset again. Then now we're going to extrude again, but instead of extruding up, we want that extrusion to fit into this edge, right? So that the box can close properly. So we're going to click and drag towards the right so that the extrusion is happening outwards instead of inwards. And because we made that small ledge be negative 0.2, we need to make this offset be positive 0.2. Now let's do another inset. Click and drag towards the left or type in 0.5. And again, change to your extrude tool. And you're going to make an extrusion to the left going upwards. Again, make sure you don't cross the polygon. If you're losing the highlighted polygon, that means you crossed it to the other side. You don't want this. See here, this is the normal being backwards. You don't want to be able to see this blue. Perfect. And now we're going to do the same bevel. So again, select all of the edges that could cut you, all of the outer edges that need to be rounded out. And once you have your selection, we want to make the exact same bevel. And I already have it set here. It is 0.1 in the offset and 3 subdivisions. So I will just go up here again and then press enter, and that's going to apply it. There we go. Perfect. Now, going back to my model mode, I'm going to place the lid so that it is interacting with the box by moving it down in Y. I will change view so that I can align this properly. And let's just try to get as close as possible. We can just eyeball this. Once this is eyeballed and we're happy with it, I want to open this box. So we're going to change the axis so that it makes it easier for us. So you can go to your right view here in the 4-panel view, turn on your enable axis, and move the Z axis either backwards or forwards. I'm going to move it in this case here towards the right. Once it is near the bottom edge, I'm going to disable enable axis. And now I can rotate my box by going to the rotate tool and simply opening it. And see how it makes it a lot easier to create this effect. Perfect. Now let's add materials to this and render it out.